ECSA, we are struggling with the same thing. Apparently, just for your information, you may also put it on your link or on your chat, the thing which I'm going to talk about. EXA exactly 1 week ago, last week Wednesday, had a similar session, and they've reduced it into a small YouTube, which will actually reinforce and then help you with the CPD. That is all I'm going to say at this stage. But I was saying how ironical we've been struggling with it at EXA and wondering why people get cancelled. As a mentor and as an engineer, I must say it saddens me when somebody chooses a referee and only after
Sorry, Mr. Ngwenya.
You're on mute, Ntumande.
Sorry, unmute yourself.
I'm talking to myself. Let me restart. First of all, I was thanking the people, and then what I am saying, it is very ironical and it's quite an interesting concept that a week ago, exactly last week Wednesday, EXA had a session on how to navigate your CPD, and then I was asking Temba that he can actually just connect the link of that YouTube, which was done last Wednesday, and it will underscore what we are talking about today. This frustration does not come out of not knowing, it comes out of ignorance. Because for us as reviewers or as mentors, we get frustrated when a candidate finds out that the referee is not in good standing, has been cancelled. And some people don't know why they are cancelled, but my speaker will talk to that and will also complement that one when we talk. For me, why candidates are here is because it is one of the easy questions not to fail. But sadly, about 20% of the people still fail the question. And it has been made a strategic, it's not a generic question. That when you come to outcome 11, you ask the candidate if they know what they are in for. It's like getting married. And sadly, like I say, over 20% of the people have no clue what to do once they become professionals. We will have a later session, but I must say I was very impressed with the initiative of the people who are here, who understand the frustration and they don't want to fall into that trap. Hence the reason why I did this. Before I speak, actually, I wanted to apologize for Mr. Msweli. He had just come back from Thailand, and then I was also in contact with him this morning. And then he says, "You know what? I'm zonked. I'm just flat out. I would like to join in the next one because I thought him being the head of all the technical sections in the metro will be the right one. But be as it may, have invited other municipalities ahead to come, but we'll see who is here when I look around. That having been said, I would like to say if there is anything more to talk about is maintaining your registration. I want us to give a few pointers because I'm a retired person now. Retired people also have to keep their registration. um, but retired people, many of them don't know that they can apply to EXA or SICE or their organization for a reduced rate, which retired people should always enjoy because they don't get paid as much as you guys. I remember that. So you must. But there is an interesting thing at EXA. Once you hit the age of 70, and then the CPD falls away, but there is a reduced CPD thing. But my colleague might talk about it at a later stage. Many people are not aware of that, but it does not mean you can just sit now because you are 70. Last week or a few weeks ago, on the 28th, actually, it was Dr. Malcolm Mitchell's 90th birthday. Amazing. I think when I first saw him, I was the young guy. I used to say I'm younger, and then he will say I'm older. And he was still pushing 60s then. So now he's just pushed 90. And he's still active. I want to encourage you to do the same. The motto of this professional tribe is that you must read. Don't live with the little knowledge that you got to pass the PR. You must learn and then you must read. Let me stop there. If there is anything, I would leave it to there so that we are here today just to maintain your professional registration. Is not just a matter of being a PR. Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Thank you, Kashin. I will stop here for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Ngwenya. I thought maybe you will proceed to introduce the speaker, Mr. Ngwenyani, because you know him better.
No, thanks. Let me, I won't spoil him. I always tease him that he is a doctor in the making because he is busy with his PhD now. But let me focus on the mission in hand. When I joined ECSA, I'm talking 2008, 2010, to be one of the reviewers and assessors in the old days when it was the legacy system. Mr. Nkonyane was already there. So they were the people who were taking us through the rope. That is when actually I became a good friend of Malcolm. He took me through the ropes. I was the youngest, and I think I thought these people, the oldest then was about 87. So I didn't know if I would last this long. So Mr. Nkonyane has been an assessor, he's been a reviewer, he's been a moderator, he is a trainer of trainers. At ECSA, I don't think you become a good mentor. I don't actually think a good mentor is a good mentor until you have done assessments and review other people. But the good part about it is you must also sit on the appeal panel when people are saying, I was deprived of being a professional, and then you sit there. So Mr. Nkonyane and myself have seen it all. So Mr. Nkonyane is in the electrical field. So he will tell you, I don't want to mess up his very good CV. What I like about him is that he is very practical and he's very considerate and he never stops learning. Like I said, he's busy with his PhD thesis now. Just shows you that you never stop learning. That is the person. I know him as a colleague at ECSA. I know him as he works because I also mentor at Mgeni Water, and then he works there, and then we see same candidate. Mgeni Water has a very, very well oiled machine establishing of mentoring, which I have actually transformed to everywhere where I mentor. But that is Mr. Nkonyane in the nutshell. Thank you. He will complete the paragraph. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Ngwenya. Over to you, Mr. Ngwenyani.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm not sure whether I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues, for the opportunity, even though I'm thrown under the bus by Mr. Ngwenya. But yeah, to talk in a nutshell about the CPD, I think cycling, based on the 5-year cycle that is ECSA requirements. I think as Ubabu Ngwenya has stated, just in a nutshell, as technocrats in the field, you need to keep abreast of technology in your area. Whether you are a civil engineering, you're playing with the math, you still have to know the better math. Whether you are a mechanical engineer, mechanical technologist, or mechanical technician, you still have got to have a better hammer to solve the problem. Whether you are the smartest in the room, the electrical engineer, technologist, and technician, you're still gonna have to keep abreast. Whether you're an instrument engineer, instrument technician, or technologist, you still need to keep abreast of the technology in your work area. So what has happened most of the time, if you look at the cancellation of people, it's mostly one about payment, the yearly annual fee that you pay with ECSA. Also two, not meeting the CPD requirements on the 5-year cycle. I think there are a lot of misconception that Mr. Ngwenya put to say that someone thinks that in year 5, that's where you accumulate all 25 points, which is where the challenge starts. First, year 1, you have to accumulate the 5 points. Year 2, 5 points. Year 3, year 4, year 5. The 25 points, as it says, it's a minimum. So it means that you can go further. I will show my screen. So I think as technocrats, the challenge that we are having, I always say to the guys that I mentored, I say that there's no one that is easy to fire than a technocrat. Because when a technocrat join any institution, you join work, let's say most of the candidates here from a eThekwini municipality. If you can ask, what are the policies? Have you read the policies? Have you read the do's and don'ts? Engineers, they think when they are hired, they just run to the work, not going through the documentation. Same thing with ECSA. Initially, I was scanning the people here, Babungwenya, so that I don't see those that I just recently interviewed. You find that the question that you ask is R-02, the standard for registration, all the requirements. Also, the policy related to it. There are 3 documents that are related to one another for you to register. If you have read them, and then also you read the CPD, trust me, you won't have this problem. You will know that in year 1, I need to accumulate so much points, the 5 points. I will then discuss the categories. Then year 2, this is what I'm going to accumulate. Year 3, year 4, year 5. If you do those yearly or every 2 years, I used to load them yearly. I think I'm been busy the last 2 years. You then being able that when the cycle comes, you don't have a problem. So, but maybe before I continue, I just want to present you guys can see my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. I've just downloaded this document. If you go to the ECSA website, you have this document. The CPD, it shows you everything, the compliance. Then there's this document, rules continuing professional development and renewal of registration. So that's where I got the document from the ECSA website. Because today I'm not representing ECSA, I'm representing Ubabungwenya. So you will see this when the document was approved, because we have seen people, Ubabungwenya will remember that some people you find even the forms, they cheaper with the forms. So we need to look at the document. It's a government gazette on 11 October 2024. Okay. I wanted us to discuss here. I've just briefly shared the objective of the CPD system. You can look at everything that is that you need to keep abreast. You need to understand changes in legislation, changes in acts or regulations. In protecting the public, if you're not keeping abreast, you might apply things that were acceptable in 1970, but they were not acceptable in 1980, or things that in 2000 something has changed. So the courses that we normally attend then makes us understand where we are and everything. Okay. I just want to come to clause 7, the framework of the CPD. So we've got category 1A and category 1B. 1A is normally the ones that makes people fail most of the time, because those are the courses that you pay, formal learning activities. But I think people have got to understand that I know SAISA has got these monthly meetings where you get 0.1 CPD point. If it means that in a year you attend those meetings, you will have 1 CPD points, which is what is required. So it means that if you are a member of SAISA, you will see later on the advantages. Also, if you are a member of South African Institute of Electrical Engineers or SIMEC, they still have got those meetings or monthly presentations where someone will present, depending if it's 1 hour, it's 0.1. If it's 2 hours, 0.2. So it means that, like Kuba Bungwenya was saying, that we cannot be saying that the problem is self-inflicted. There are opportunities. You don't need municipality or your institution to send you in a course that spend 12,000 rands or what. Yes, you will go to those ones, but you can maximize also that this year I'm going to do these activities, formal learning, I'm going to attend this, I'm going to get the 0.1 in 10 of them will give me 1 point in category 1A. Category 1B, the self-study activities, you will still have to prove what were you doing with the self-study. I know that with the South African Institute of Electrical Engineers, there are activities that you do, you write a summary. I'm not sure whether it's still there. I haven't checked. Then they will then allocate points to you for what you have said. I've reviewed this. This is my review and everything. Then you get the points. Then the work-based activities, I think you need to record performing day-to-day engineering-related responsibility, which is category 2A. And also, the nice thing that has happened, we know that people were in the past not wanting to mentor people. So it's been included here, mentoring engineering graduates. So you will have to say that how many hours you spend in a week in what. Some of us, a mentor, I'm in the ECSA website. Yes, I get requests for people who wants to be mentored and everything. So even in your workspace, if you're a registered person, you can, and in fact, you shall mentor people under you or people graduates or same colleagues in your level. If you're a PRN, you can mentor technologists to understand what is complex engineering problems. You can mentor technicians because it's about upgrading us, keeping abreast, and having the cohesion within, or academia or through formalized structures. So you can mentor in the workplace. I think we know that Mr. Ngwenya knows that we meet, and I think Osiabong Mpamali, I think he works with you guys. We always talk about this thing where it comes to academia, that in the past, you will have worked 10 years, then have a qualification before you can be in academia or a lecture. But that requirement for experience was removed. But then also it's our responsibility now as industry to then extend a helping hand to the academia staff so that then we don't blame them for the outputs of students that we get. So that one also comes under the web-based activities. Communities of practice, being a member. That's why I was saying that if you're a member of SAISA, you already have got points. If you're a member of the South African Institute of Electrical Engineering, If you are a member of the chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, instrumentation and controls, the mechatronics ones, you already have a point. So if your membership with the VAs is up to date also, then those points are already there. Then you need to attach your certificate. Like for me, I'm a member of the South African Institute of Electrical Engineering, SIMEC, and one SAMA for asset management. So those ones allows you also so that you engage and you do a lot of things. So I will then also if you allow me, MC, to then talk about the CPD. This is the cycle that, as I've said, that guys, this is easy to attain. We are working hard for us. As I always said, even during interviews or when we're training within the ECSA, ECSA's mandate is to register competent people. But ECSA always got a responsibility that the registered people keeps abreast to protect the environment, the public, integrity, and etc. and etc. So for us, ECSA then their mandate is not to ECSA's mandate is not to deregister. ECSA's mandate is not to register, but people, because we don't read, we are working hard against ourselves not to be able to register or keep our renewable of our professional registration. So I think in a 5-year cycle, like myself, I've got 2 registration. One is for professional technician and professional technologist. Maybe in future I will have another one. But my cycle is always linked to the professional technician. So I always renew that one. When I renew that one, it renew both my professional technician and professional technologist. So you all look at the date of your registration, and then they will give you that your registration is coming to an end. I think it's about 5 months before, where you then need to log and log on your details and everything. But if you have been doing it all the time, yearly after you attend, you load onto the system. I think I will show the new system how you load that. I will just go now to 26. That's page 26. Okay, Appendix A, then it shows you the categories. We have explained that category 1A, so it can be online, face-to-face, hybrid formats. So those are conferences, congresses, workshops. So if you're going to a conference, you must check whether it has got go to a seminar or a course. If they don't, I then ask them to register with ECSA, because you can register and then get CPD points for that conference and everything. There are requirements that ECSA will require, or then also then that relevant additional or postgraduate qualifications. So after you've completed your postgrad or any related also get. So those that are doing their masters, you could see that the masters carry 7 credits, a PhD 14 credits. So as I've said that most of the monthly meeting like us on SIMEC, we already applied. All our presentation, you get 0.1 because it's a 1 hour. So in 5 years, you need 50 hours of those activities. So it allows you to accumulate, to say that in a year, I need 1. And then 1 credit, as I've said, that is 10 national hours. Okay, let's go to 1B. 1B is self-study, activities involved but not restricted to studying non-validated activities, journals, electronic computerized material, 1 credit for every 10. So, like myself, I'm studying. It means that I can then know that to say that, okay, I've reviewed so much journal papers. or any material that I'm using, and then I will load that to the system. Even if you are not studying, let's say you are designing a bridge, you will have to conduct literature, and the hours you spend there you can note. But if you are then audited, you need to prove that yes, you have read those journals, papers, or conference papers. We always say in running where Mr. Ngwenya is at, that a runner, even when you're running a 42, you repeat the same route, you've got chances to do a shortcut to go just to and say that finish a 42 kilometer in 3 hours. Well done. But you are cheating yourself. So even here, for you to load to say that I have done self-study, but while you didn't do, because the aim is to keep abreast. The aim is to improve your knowledge, your skills, your expertise in that area. So you have to do those activities for you to claim it, so that you adhere to the rule of conduct for registered person, SPEPA of 2000, so that then you know that you are honest, you have done the work. Because the aim, you must do the work, you must do that self-study and those activities. Category 2, I think works-based activities. Most of us, we're working in engineering. I'm not sure those that are doing project management, but in engineering, you need them to say, because we are dealing with technocrats. So it should be engineering related responsibilities. Yes, some project during project management, let's say construction and everything, yes, you can register that work, but not as a project manager. I think it's been said the project manager register with SICMP and also with the PMP. Those are, as engineering, we deal with technocrats work, engineering related work. So when you're on site, we should be seeing that you're doing engineering work, because when people like Home Demand, they go and audit you, if because they audit people just to check what is it. So, but also your management part, yes, even though it's included, but mostly what we are looking for technocrats. So yes, the document said it including management, but most of the work should be, you can't be saying that I'm a manager, so I'm just managing. It should be managing technocrats, reviewing design reports, and etc. and etc. That's the management. In addition, I think we have spoken with mentoring graduates. And so all those you can record. I remember last time I had to submit the names of the people. I think they write something to say that, yes, you are mentoring them over during that period. So it's up to us to then get those category 2. I think category 3, A, is a membership of an ECSA VA, 1 credit per year. So it's a maximum. I think there's different VA, there's category A, B, C. You have to check then whichever VA you are in, how many points do you get. Other activities that you can have: research and project evaluation and supervision. I know there's a lot of people that do supervision of master's, dissertation, PhD. Sometimes they ask you to be an evaluator. Evaluation of final year engineering students as an external examiner, supervision of students from honors level. So I think for us to avail ourselves, it makes this process easy. Course and program evaluation, course and program development. I think there are some people that are assisting in institutions to develop the programs. Lecturing part-time to undergraduate and postgraduate students. Here is it participating in statutory professional engineer or non-engineer committees or task groups. So as you can see, colleagues, it's about you evaluation. Like myself, I'm in the committee for SANS, the SAPS for power electronics. So I'm participating in that committee. I'm participating in the SAIA Energy Committee and Renewable Energy Storage and Renewable. I'm also a member of IEEE, the Standard Committee. I participate in standard development approval. Yeah, and review. Publication. Some of you guys have published research journals within the peer-reviewed ones. Publication of technical. So I think there's a lot of that we need to then start to say that what you have done, you can share in a publication, in a conference, presented in a conference. Like for me, for this year, I've presented at SAMA, I've presented at ECSA. So it's part of saying that I need to, for myself, to build capacity, but also I'm sharing the knowledge that I have in conferences. Capacity building, training, ECSA assessors. I think those the one that train the trainer are the ones that also get the CPD points. So as we can see, colleagues, that everything is doable, and us as technocrats, we just need to understand the process that we are in, like politicians. They know what to do at every point in time. And also they always read documents. We are about now to say that when we start, I'm registered with the ECSA. What are my requirements, or what are the requirements and the things that I need to meet? Then you say that, do I understand the EPA, the Engineering Profession Act? What is my responsibility? If you understand the rules of conduct for ECSA, then you understand as a registered person that you have got things that you need to do. The 5-year cycle, guys, is doable. There's small things that we need to do every day. Let's be a membership of VAs, participate in those voluntary associations. Then you are able to gain points as you go along. We know we are working in an industry that is controlled. You might not attend courses all the time, but trust me, there are webinars that are free, that you get points on them, and they producing good technical information. If you attend a course, you record that course and everything. But if you look in a nutshell, it's you that is working hard, not to your registration to be renewed. So everyone that have their registration expired, I think is not an end of the road. I have assisted people that came in and needed to sign so that they can. I think there's a process that you undertake. So if you are in the red, I think it's for us to come back and be able to sort that one. For your registration, guys, ECSA is looking for assessors, moderators, reviewers. If you are registered, you can participate in assessment and every yes. It's not a lot of money, but it can pay for your membership. So there's a lot of things if your institution or your company organization doesn't pay for your registration, but you can be able to do things that can sustain your registration. So with that being said, thank you very much, colleagues. I hand over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Mr. Kwenyan, for that detailed and thorough information that you've just given us. We really appreciate your time that you've taken to come and present to us and elaborate on those aspects regarding our CPD points. I'm just gonna move on to the next segment where there's a Q&A session. I see some hands are starting to come
yeah.
up.
Now, it was my hand, Kache.
Came up.
No,
You can proceed.
I just wanted to compliment before we even go to a Q&A, so that we go with an open mind. What Mr. Nkonyane said, actually, I'm so happy. You see, this is a good thing of seeing is believing, because a brochure, you don't know where it comes from. He went to the source document so that even when you look at the YouTube, you understand where things are coming from. Let me talk about being cancelled, because we underestimate this. Why do we have candidates here? It's because many candidates are cancelled. When you are a cancelled candidate, that means you negated your obligation of your commitment. I've seen some candidates who apply to be professional and ECSA says first pay your arrears. And some of them have been in arrears for 4 or 5 years before I can take your application, which is why I wanted to emphasize this thing of cancellation. You can cancel at ECSA, but make the proper notice so that you don't get subjected to this thing. I know one of my professional engineers, I think he had to pay a lot of money out of his pocket because the organization said, why did you get cancelled when we are paying for your membership? He negated to tell the organization to pay when he was receiving the amount. So that is just one aspect of being cancelled as a candidate. It will boomerang on you. I have another candidate who was cancelled and then he thought he will re-register and then he went to EXA for an interview as a not belonging to the category. You pay double the amount, so which is fine. And then the candidate's results never came out. When he inquired, they said it is blocked by the system because you were cancelled and you never said the reason for cancelling. So we can't tell you pass or fail until you've sorted out your arrears. That is very, very pertinent why I said there's a misconception, but read the rules. EXA might have changed them. If I'm wrong, I may be wrong because things change all the time, but check with EXA on that one. Now, I want to come to the last part, which we don't do, which is written on there, but it went fast because Sekoyan was trying to tell you the CPD point, there is also an option for an exemption. If you are sick, you are in hospital, or you can't meet the points in a year, not in 5 years, in a year. That is the emphasis you'll also see in that video. You must do it every year, not it's a yearly thing, 5 points. Because where are you going to get your fourth point in year five when you didn't get it in year one? It's already passed, so you can't be retrospective. You never met it in year one and you can't meet it. So that is why EXA has said within 3 months of your birthday, which is your anniversary, which is your registration certificate date, is there for a reason. Tell me that you want to renew or tell me you don't want to renew. Is there for a reason? Or I'm not going to meet the point, apply for an exemption. It's all now on the website. If you look at that video, it will tell you how you upload all that one. I thought I must just underscore and emphasize that one. But now, coming, how much does it cost? I like the way Mr. Konyane put it. It's not a small change. I never thought of it that way until I was in Cape Town giving a session, and one of the senior managers in Cape Town said it costs a lot to be a professional. How much does it cost? Let's just average 5,000 Rand for EXA membership. For eight, it will vary once you're a professional. Let's say 5,000 Rand a year. And then you become a member of SAIS or something else. It could be another 2 or 5,000, let's say two. Let's average it, say 6,000, just for easy numbers to work with. That is what it costs you to just be a professional. Forget about the CPD points, they are an addition. Now, what does 5 or 6,000 Rand a year calculates to? It is 30,000 Rand after 5 years. Then you start wondering, hey, I pay that much. But since many of us are lucky, we have good organizations. I know of the best, like Geni, Water Utugela, and then Etegwini now also pays for their workers. That is what your employer pays for you. Otherwise, it will come out of you if you are a pensioner like me. But what does that buy? It buys you points, which you don't have to go to a course for. These points cost about 3,000 each when you start to work them out. Each time you go to a conference for one CPD point, you are paying about 3,000. For two CPD points, you're paying about 6,000 discounted to that. That means a CPD point is 3,000 Rand. I just want to cross the monetary amount. So for 5 CPD points, is 5 times 3 is 15,000 Rand. It's going to be 75,000 Rand over the, the 5 years. Remember, your employer has paid 30,000 already for you, and then now you need these 5 CPD points. But your employer has already paid for those points. Mr. Nkoyane has put it there, but that slide flashed very fast. But what I like, he told you where to go read it. Read it proper. It says if you are working, doing engineering work for 300 hours, I'll give you 1 point. Many of you work 40 hours a week, that is fine. But 600 hours is all you need to get the maximum of 2 points for working. Don't be fooled and say I work 1,000 hours, therefore I have all my 5 points. If you read that thing, it tells you I'll give you a maximum of 2 for working, which means 600 hours. That is 2 points, which is 3,000 each that your employer has already paid for. And then it says, I'll give you 1 for mentoring. That is still your employer, the people here at work. But don't double dip because ECSA will audit you. It says 50 hours a year. 50 hours a year is very difficult to do. It means 1 hour a week of mentoring. But be streetwise and do me a favor. Don't mentor somebody who is not a candidate because ECSA will not recognize that. The person must be a candidate because you have to pull the person out of the system. Say, I'm mentoring so and so. If that person is not in good standing, too bad. You won't be getting a credit. If that person is not, and then you pull them out and then it takes their candidate number. It says, yes, I know this person exercise. And then you have only 1 person. You can mentor 100 or whatever like I do, but he will give you credit for only one credit. That is 3 points, which your employer, that is already a 3,000 times 3, which he has contributed, and it's what we call a latent, it's almost like a latent defect, this one. Anyway, but be as it may, forget about that. Anyway, and then Mr. Koyane says, read 10 hours of reading magazines give you 1 point. The problem is when they audit you, what did you read? You will be in trouble. That is why I recommend to people have a folder of this webinar, of these electronic magazines. When they say, what did you read? It asks you sometimes to upload what you have been reading when they audit, and then you have to upload. That's 1 point. Now, Mr. Konyane said the most difficult point, myself included, is 1A, and you must get 1 point a year. Yes, point 2, point 1, point 25, point 4, you will be surprised how quickly it adds up to 1. And you haven't gone to a 5,000 Rand course. Look at him getting water with about 200 engineers. 5,000 for each one to go to a course. You will bankrupt the organization. And Etegwini has the same thing. But what amazes me, organizations like to send people to conferences. I say send the supervisors, which is why I like, to a conference so that they come back and do an in-house training for the others that they're there. Because you cannot afford to bankrupt an organization like that. I thought I must just come to that CPD part because it's less understood. Mr. Nkonyane has articulated it. You all have driver's license. It's every 5 years that you have to renew it. It's very nice. Does it mean you are not a driver if you don't renew your driver's license? No, you're still a driver, but you are illegal. The good thing which I know about it is that if you get into an accident, 21 days after its expiry days, your insurance will not pay. You will be liable for paying. But how many people drive or take a vehicle without a license after its expiry date? What I like, if you take a vehicle and then you use it for a long time, you forgot to pay the license. When you come back, they charge you 10% for every month that you didn't pay. That is how ECSA now have come after the George building to have this video, which they did last week, where they emphasize the 1 year now. Because when we were analyzing it, we said Mr. Nkonyani is a good electrical guy. Heaven forbid, touch wood, it doesn't happen. Some installation goes wrong and somebody is injured. When we go to look, was Mr. Konyane registered? Yes, he is active. Was he up to date with his CPD point as of today? We look at his date of registration, we put 0. We look backwards, we find that he had only 2 points. Where was he going to get the 3 points? It means he was not compliant. And then there will be a problem of registration. Think about it that way. Hence the reason why this question has become a ghost in the ECSA reviews. Don't say it's generic, is to ask your understanding and for you to articulate like you have been taught. Not to regurgitate what we are telling you, but go and read it and make your own summary. That's all I wanted to say, Chair. And then in complimenting my colleague who actually was very articulate. And what I like is that he gave you the source document. The 14 points, the everything points, remember, ECSA carries points for 3 years. If you look at your certificate, it will say valid until that. If it had 7 points, you will not use those 7 points that year. It will take the maximum of 2. The other 2, you can still use the same certificate next year because it will keep on deducting from that. Understand how these certificates work. So it's not that because I have 7 points on this one, I'm okay, I've got 50 points. No, it has a limit. And then it wants that minimum of 5 points for you to be compliant. And I think we'll then go to the Q&A, but I thought I must just emphasize that one, that the 75,000 rand is for real and the 30,000 is actual. That is what you pay to be just afloat. I almost got deregistered 2 years ago, or in my last cycle. I fill in the form, I uploaded my thing because this was the first time the electronic things come in, and then that was done. But my status never changed. Then I kept on saying, no man, it's 2 months now, 3 months, why hasn't it changed? And then I phoned the guy. And the guy looked, he says, hey, Mr. Ngwenya, you loaded everything, it's there. You forgot to sign the form of declaration, the one which the Commissioner of Oaths puts. After 5 years, you must remember that that form is not just the payment and the points, is that form we used to upload it. Fortunately, now they've made it easy. You don't have to take it to the Commissioner of Oath. You just put a cross that I have not been a thief, I've not been this, I've not been this, and then you push it in. I hadn't submitted that form, and the guy said to me, you have a week before it gets to cancellation stage because ECSA will cancel you. But you must know how they cancel you. They don't just cancel you. They warn you. They say pay, you pay, or you don't pay. If a financial year comes, and then the next financial year comes, and then you still haven't, I think now it's 3 or 4 months, if you read the rules, they will cancel you because they've given you enough time. But read last week's publication by ECSA, it's on the website, when what Mr. Nkonyane was saying was a loophole. They've written to all the VAs. They say, we want a link to your database of the active members so that when they claim this 1 point, we will only credit to them if we can see that they're active in your database, because we've been giving people points that are no longer active in your database. And then they warned you that if they find that they've given you a point, they will deduct it for next year by 2027. So go and iron out your house. So this was published. I'm just saying this because I read these things last week. So you will see it in one of those things that all the VAs had to comply by a certain date to give ECSA their database. So you can no longer say that I was a member of WISA when you never paid you anything and then you just have your old number which is no longer active. ECSA is catching up on that one. Okay? Over to you, Chair. Sorry for taking too much time, but I thought I must just emphasize this because it's now where the money comes in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ngwenya, for that emphasis. We really appreciate it. I'm just gonna take hands if there are people that want to ask anything regarding what has been said. by Mr. Ngwenya or Mr. Nkwenyan? Any hands? You don't have to wait for me to point you because there's quite a number of you. If you want to just jump in, please do.
For 3 months.
I don't see any hands.
The 4-month contract, right?
That means we are happy with what has been presented. Okay, Mazuma? Simbule.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Ngwenya and Mr. Nkonyane. It was very informative. My question here is, I heard Mr. Nkonyane talking about two registration. So if you have those twins and their anniversary dates are not the same, so were you willing to keep them both? And are you able to use the same, like the same things that you have used when you were doing the renewal of the previous one? Maybe they are 2 years apart, and then you have renewed the first one, and then the second one you can use the same documentation to do the renewal of the second one. Thank you.
You said
Mr. Nkonyane, you can give the answer now, or you can wait for other questions. I'm not sure how we're gonna do it. And Mr. Nkonyane.
Yeah, thanks, Kajeni. No, I can give it now, Kajeni. I think it's I'm only the cycle that they deal with is your first registration. So I only submit. They look at the anniversary for the technician, and then the technologies one automatically is renewed. So you don't have to do both of them. You just do one registration, but it's your first registration, which is the anniversary for my professional technician registration. For the technologies, no, it's linked to that one. So it's a once registration linked to the technician one. I think I'm clear. Unless they will in future change, then the system will change accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nkonyane. Are you satisfied, Nambule? Nambule.
Yes, Mr. Ndlovu, I'm satisfied. Thank you so much, Mr. Nkonyane.
Any other question? Please feel free to ask questions. The answers are here now. You can go ahead, Nambule, again.
One last question, Mr. Nkonyane. I heard that you said for a master's it has 7 credits. What does it mean? Does it mean it has 7 CPD points? So if I'm doing a master's, when you say I'm doing a master's for 3 years, so automatically each and every year I have those 7 credits or 7 CPD points. Can you give me a clarity on that one? Thank you.
Yes. I was just so that I check it, because what it says that after you've attained your masters, you get 7 points. So it's not that during you will say I'm studying my masters. So it's after the certification, and then it will link up as what you Ubabungwenya said that. So you complete your masters today. it means that you have got the 2 points for 2020, what's it, 2025. Then the other 2 points can be, Babungwenye, if I'm correct, for 2026 up until 2027. But it's 7 points post masters. Just
That's
one,
correct. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Any question? All right. It seems like we don't have any more.
While the people are thinking, I was gonna send this to you to share, but it's just general information. Maybe I should. Just look at the PowerPoint presentation if you want to share with them. I just wanted to share. It's a big debate that is being dealt with by our Dr. Andrew Mata. He is actually a very good statistician, and I'm very impressed with that. And then he is actually dealing with ECSA, and this discussion is between Dr. Mata and ECSA. But what is interesting here, I'm just going to forward you the whole thing. Just focus on the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation. That it has 4 slides, which are very interesting. I don't know if my computer knows Tembandlovu. Just in case, let me just say it knows the Mfana Sibili very well. Why it goes to Mfana Sibili, for your information. What is interesting in this slide is a debate. The debate, I know where it is going, or I think speculate where it is going, is how many professional registered people are there. EXA has the database. So EXA says, there are the numbers. And then it asks the question, how many candidates people are there? And then it EXA spews the numbers. So there are 2 people here, or 3 actually. They are all doctors. It's Dr. Andrew Mata, and then it's Dr. Teresa Hatting, and then it's Dr. Potma at EXA. So we know these are the guru of the gurus. They are the engine of engine. But for me, it was not the debate where it's going. It was the numbers. And then since then, Andrew has deciphered the numbers and he's come up with his own numbers. What are the numbers? I think you will see it there. Just look at the power presentation. Who is registered? Who is active? Who is retired? Who has died? That is the record, because the record is double dipping, according to another discussion. You have 28 professionals, but you have 24,000 candidates. Is because 9 out of 10, Mfana Sibili is a professional technician, is a professional technologist, and is also a candidate. So now, why are you telling me you have so many candidates when these people are already professionals? You see, so that is now the cleaning of the statistics. But where is it going to? I can tell you now, because you remember in April, everybody knows April now, with the identification of engineering work, which is well enshrined, that nobody can do any or practice engineering if they're not registered. Registered, does it mean anything? It means you are a candidate, you are registered with EXA, or you are a professional. But if you're a candidate, you cannot work on your own. You need a supervisor. But how many people must Mr. Nkonyane ideally supervise? That is where it is going. Can Ms. Nkonyane supervise 2 or 5? Or everybody at Metro, if they're 40, we have 1 professional, then we're okay. That is where it is coming now to say, to legislate and monitor you. I think an organization with so many people, an engineer or a professional technician can only supervise so many, a professional technologist, so many. But because they're writing the thing. That is my speculation. They didn't say that, but I know what is happening behind the scenes. But if anything, seeing is believing. You know, remember, you say, Mr. Ngoyen said there was a document, but this is a PowerPoint which was sent, because all Dr. Mata asked, give me the statistics. and then they gave the statistics. So, and then he says here in his letter, engineering without retirees, 4,527. PR Tech without the retired people, 3341. And then he's deciphering numbers, but I don't know where he's getting them from. But that's irrelevant. It's just so that I bring you up to speed so that you know what's happening in your profession. You can share that. I'm sure it has gone. We've been having a fiber problem here. But why do we have a fiber problem is because me and Mr. Nkonyane always argue that the best engineers are the civil, but he thinks the smartest ones are electrical. But I let him win today because he's our guest. What happens, the fiber cable is always put on top of the water main. I don't know why. Maybe in other municipalities they are clever. Here, when there's a water burst, then you know you will have no fiber. Because when they come with the excavator, they don't dig proper. They just yank out, and the first pipe they come into is the fiber pipe on top before they get there. You are lucky if they don't get through the electric cable. So that's why we're having a glitching network in my area. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can just show those slides and then take it from.
Which page, Bob? Mr. Ngonya, which slide?
No. You can just start from the top. Just show them the slides. They're not my slides. Just start from the first slide. This was from Dr. This was from Dr. Teresa Hatting to Dr. Mata. What is of interest? You see how many candidates there are, and then where they are coming from. You see how many engineers. The numbers are almost very close. You can see by the pie chart, and then you see the specialized category, and then you go down. So now you will say, then you will almost think you have 28,000 plus 24. So you could easily have that 52 to 53,000 people in the engineering factor. But then, like for the reasons I said, everybody who's a professional is still also a candidate. So I don't know if they have removed that one out, is subject to debate. Just to have the numbers, you see how many engineers, if you look at the bottom bar chart, I like it. It says there's 14,900 professional engineers in all categories. There's 7,300. If you use the Japanese ratio, you will suffer because the Japanese ratio is so many engineers to so many technologies to so many technicians. You may find that there is a wrong correlation here. Normally, how is it, Dr. Nkonyane, in the making? There should be more technicians, more technologies, less engineers. The you see what I mean? I mean, you'll understand. There's too many chiefs, not enough Indians. If the pant still works, but that is what was happening. And then I believe, because I was taught by artisans, I believe that the technologies and the technicians are the engine of our industry because they are mostly the doers. Uh, I'm sad to say this as an engineer because I come from artisan background. Many engineers I find in the field, I find that they are not doers. They can give you a Picasso drawing, but they can't make it doable because of the lack. Until that's why I always say, just go to the technologies to show you how it is done because you are not a doer. It saddens me. It's sad, or it's an institutional problem, but that's not our problem for today. It's for next time when we get the academia in this profession to tell us why they are not teaching people the right thing. Okay, that's all that statistics was showing. Actually, it's well analyzed. It will tell you where everybody is coming from. You will see it that way. Yeah. No, I can leave it at that. I thought it is just numbers, not to spew around, just to understand how rare you are to be professionally registered. Thank you.
Thank you, Demand. Sembi, your hand was up.
City manager for
Good morning, everyone. Temba, I just wanted to draw your attention to the chat. There's somebody who's asking because their mic is not working. I think that question is being referred to Mr. Ngonyane about the CPD points. Please check it.
Okay, I've noted it. Mr. Nkonyane, can you see the question on the chat box?
Yes, I can see that because he's got one cycle in November 2025 and didn't meet the minimum 50 CPD points. Specifically, which points the candidate didn't meet? Because it's 25 CPD points, not 50.
I think it was a typing error. Maybe he didn't meet 25 points.
But all or some, because Ubabungwenya is here.
Actually, it's not 50, it's 5. This person is saying I didn't meet 5 points. That is where the problem is. I had one person deregistered
Yeah.
in one organization. What is going to happen with this person? He's going to have a struggle going forward. That is when you know, because you can't buy it anywhere. You have 4 points and you can't meet 5. That is why ECSA says 3 months before the end of your cycle, talk to me, apply for an exemption. I would advise this
Yes.
person to apply for an exemption that in this category, A or this, I did not meet this 1 point. Can I please be exempted? ECSA is very considerate. You'll put your thing. They will
Yes.
exempt them before they go to further down. Then they'll give you an exemption for the year because the person is still within, I like it is November, is still within the discussion period with ECSA, though it might have just passed. And then they will give you an exemption to fulfill the year behind you. But the year going forward now, you must be careful. But if anything happens 3 months before your anniversary, you must click that button on the website now. There's a button which says ask for an exemption. You apply for an exemption for a particular category. You say which category you're applying for in the thing, but watch the video. That's why I said I won't even go to the website. Watch the video. It will tell you, and then you apply to ECSA, and then it will say exemption granted. You upload it, you refresh it, and then your points are done. It's a very valid question. Thank you.
Maybe Kajeni, just to add, I'm just showing on my slide because the colleague didn't say which point he didn't meet because I don't believe it's all 25. But as Ubabungwenya has said, this is my cycle. It started 2023 to up, it will go up until 2028. But if you look to number 5, that's where the request exemption comes in. So I'm not sure whether the candidate is already submitted, but if it's submitted on the website, then it needs to go to the request exemption. So that then those points that were not met, because I don't believe it's all the 25, then it will then request the exemption. And as Babungwenya have said, ECSA is considerate, then he will state how he recover in future, not to report, to repeat the same issue. Then I think they will then register the candidate. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation. Just checking if there is any other question. Any pending question while Mr. Ngwenya and Mr. Nkonyane is here? You can write it on the chat box if you're not okay with talking to the colleagues. Okay. All right. It seems like, okay, I see there's a hand. Mr. Nkonyane, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Maybe just my parting shot, Chair. is to say that if you look at eThekwini, you look at Umgeni, Tugela Water, and other Munich, that might, we are big. We shouldn't be even battling, guys, with some of the cost. We need to start to take things in our strides and do this presentation to one another. If I look at the numbers here, we can do presentation and register them with ECSA for the points so that we can then say that where is the pain? Because if it's a payment issue, I mean, doing a 1 hour presentation every month, this month it's Ethekwini, this month is UUW, this month is so and so. You understand that at the end of the financial year, as we say, you will have 1 CPD points, and we register all those things. So I think we need to be innovative. As Ubabu when I was saying that our organization, guys, the amount, Babungwenya, normally these CPD points, if you go, because they normally lump them in 3 days, minimum you're looking at 9,000, 12,000, others go up to 15,000. It's a lot of money, guys. For sustainability, we need to come with innovative ways. For us, we can have our own conference, 1 day conference, where we know that we'll get 8 to 10 hours. Then people are presenting, we're sharing knowledge, because it's just about presenting. We take that, we register with X. I think the process is easy to register for a CPD points, because mostly is those. Even with the issue of graduates, Wabungwenya was talking about, let's get the people that are not registered, let's mentor them and get them to be registered. And you sustain yourself with that so that when the cycle comes at the end of it, you are not shocked. So for me, Babungwenya, I think we can work in that we just have got our own mini conferences a month where there's 4 hours and so much, so that we then know that, okay, the presentations were done, 3 or 4 quality presentation. Next month we do it. So everyone else in this group can present lesson learned, what they are doing, because we're all doing technical work, and it will assist them to say that, okay, at least those portion that is expensive, someone can meet those requirements through an innovation way of us then countering that expensive payments that our organization needs to do. With that being said, thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much to the colleagues for inviting me. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Nkonyane. Thank you for that. We'll really will consider that. Mr. Ngwenya, your hand is up.
Yeah, Mr. MC. Thank you. I think Mr. Kunyana has hit the nail in the coffin. I must say, one thing which I like about this young tribe is because this is the tribe I trust that has been properly mentored. And we have people here from the Department of KwaZulu-Natal Transport. We've got people from Alfred Nzo. We've got people from all walks of life. I see professional combo from Joburg because he's become part of the tribe. Now, what is important is what Mr. Koyan is saying. Let us have platforms where we share. I almost asked for 0.2 CPD points for this one because it's 2 hours. ECSA gives you 0.1 CPD point for 1 hour if you attend their thing. But then I said, who are they giving it to? The professional tribe? Or I didn't want to use Umgeni Utugela Water Academy or Etegwin Academy because this is humble beginning. And I thought I must just say, when we do these things, they will count in the future. I didn't want to use my organization, SAICI, because they have their own way of, you remember, they're all in business, but we're not in the business of making money. We're in the business of knowledge here for each one of us. But I will find a way of how we can piggyback and make sure it counts. Because for the professionals, it makes sense that everything they do, they volunteer, they do anything, they get the CPD point. For the candidates, it makes sense. In your B5 or AN4, you don't have to obtain any CPD points as a candidate, not even 1 CPD. You need to be up to date. How you are kept up to date, as we're doing now. This is one of them, what we'll call an in-house training. So, Mr. Nkonyane, you are right. Where I mentor, I don't send people to any unnecessary course because I know it can bankrupt an organization. And for nothing, because the people just go there, have nice tea and coffee for 5,000 rand a day. And I think I'm a frugal old man, and I think it's not good value for money to be spent that way. I'd rather pay 5,000 rand and get a professional like Mr. Nkonyane to give you a 4-hour lecture, and that will be money well spent. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, while I'm at this, I must add that it is the duty of the candidate to go to the ECSA website and say, my mentor is Temba Ndlovu. Is he registered? Is he active? I've asked Mr. Nkonyane, is he registered? Is he active? Please, it is there. That database is seen by anybody all over the world. It's a very powerful database. In eThekwini, I've had quite a few supervisors cancelled. They only didn't know. The only reason is because I told them I cannot use you to mentor or to be a co-signatory for my candidate because you are no longer a professional. They argue. But what I like in eThekwini, once you've lost your PR, it's cancelled. They remove that extra amount that they were paying you for being a PR. I think it hits the people hard that way. And it's the only way to do it. Why should you pay a guy for being a PR when he's no longer a professional? Once you are cancelled, it means you are no longer a professional. If you are signing drawings, what does it mean, Mr. Nkonyane? You are signing, but you are cancelled. What does it mean? You are exposing your organization to a lot of things because you are like that driver who drives with a license that has expired 10 years ago and he doesn't even know. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Mr. Ngwen. Thank you for the informative session. Both of you, Mr. Ngonyana and Mr. Ngwenya, thank you very much for taking your time to be with us this morning and to share your valuable information, your wisdom that you've accumulated over the years. We really appreciate. We will go back to the drawing board and see what, with your help, I think people can have sufficient information not to be deregistered or to lose their registration. Before I wrap up, I just want to share some information that I think is also important, because I noticed even when there was a Q&A, people were scared to raise their hand and ask. It's a problem. I just want to introduce another concept to all the colleagues and candidates, more especially, that there's an organization that we call the Toastmasters that train people to be public speakers and to have that confidence when they are talking. We know that previously ECSA used to register people based on their reports, but it doesn't happen anymore. You have to go there and face the giant and talk to them. You can imagine the fear that people have when you're facing those three or more experts that are expecting you to talk about your technical project. So it's a project, it's a problem. So Toastmasters is there. So as a professional tribe, we've embarked on establishing our own Toastmasters, which we are busy establishing right now. We've got more than 20 members now, but we still have space for more. If you want to improve your public speaking, you can be free to talk when you have to. Please, I've got the link on the chat box. Just fill in your information and we can connect and I'll give you more information. And as long as you are a technical person, we will allow you to be part of our club. With that, I just want to thank everyone who took their time to attend this session this morning, and encourage you to come once again if we call or if we invite you. I can assure you that it will be beneficial to you and you will benefit. Thank you. Thank you. Unless if there's anyone with anything that I left out, Mr. Ngwenyan, before we close. Okay, there's nothing.
No, I'm covered. Mr. Ngoyan has just asked to be excused, and then he said thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I think we managed. It's now past. I think we were right on time. We can call the meeting off now. Meeting adjourned. Thanks so much.
No, thank you very much.
Stop recording.